Hey everybody, GVD Studios back with another video. Thanks for coming inside and thanks for joining me on this day. This Thursday when I'm actually filming it. It'll be up either today or tomorrow. I haven't quite decided that because I'm too busy at looking and watching the videos and seeing reactions and just hearing them out. So I want to talk about this today because if I don't do it today, I'm going to be like regretting not doing it. And I apologize for not being around for videos more recent, I should say, because there's so many videos that came out and so many different topics. I couldn't pick one. But in the case of certain topics that I want to cover, I would have to take more than one day. This might be one of those times. So, as everyone has possibly heard, hopefully, Twitch got hacked. Yes, the second biggest, if not the biggest, online stream site besides like the main movie ones like Hulu, Netflix, and all that. I'm comparing it pretty much close to YouTube, you know. It's a social content media platform. It was hacked. And what was leaked out were people's earnings. How much certain users made from Twitch. The entire list, top to bottom, just blew my mind when I found out. And the name that struck me the highest was Critical Role. Yes, I would not be doing a D&D video if I didn't at least maybe for one-time videos talk about Critical Role. I am a fan of Critical Role. I have a Vox Machina t-shirt in my closet. Okay, I'm a huge fan of Critical Role. Alright? So, I think the main basis of this, I have my notes written here by the way, was between subscriptions and ads, advertisements. Not sponsors, not Twitch contracts, if they did have one. None of that extra additives, as I call it. But just bottom line, $9 million. Critical Role made $9 million. Now, I'm going to be honest here when I say this, because it's highly interesting, by the way. I was watching a video from Penguin Zero, from Charles White, Critical. Big shout out to Critical, by the way. Awesome YouTuber. And he's talking about when this is when the leak first happened. He talked about it. He said if you take the number of subscribers and times that by either 2.5 or 3.5 or 2.5 or 3.5, you'll roughly get their earning, because Twitch takes a bit of the what's the word I'm looking for, the profit or the intake of the of the subscription, and they take it. It's part of their thing, you know. But still, $9 million. Critical Role, Matthew Mercer, and the group of extraordinary roleplay, as my friend calls it, with Marisha Ray. I can't remember half the other guys. I was just watching them last night too. Kind of sad. I was watching them last night and I couldn't even remember any of the guys. But Critical Role made $9 million. Okay? And fans are outraged, saying, oh, well, you guys are voice actors and you're making money doing that, and now you're making $9 million by doing this. Okay, this is where I'm going to step in. Okay? Yes, all the members are voice actors. Okay? All of it. $9 million according to the leak. Right? All that good stuff. Okay? But you forget The fans out there don't remember or don't realize or don't ultimately contemplate in their mind. They live in California. Cali's not cheap. Anywhere near LA, San Fran, San Diego. Let's see, where else is there in California? Hollywood, maybe? San Jose? It doesn't matter. California is an expensive, expensive state. Okay? Okay. So picture that. So $9 million, especially to them, $9 million, that's 2.5 mil, no, sorry, 2 point, was it, at least 6 people in the group? 5, 6 people in the group? It's at least 1 to 2 mil each. Go figure. You know? Somebody in the comment section down below can do the math for me. I'm not gonna sit here and try to spend time wasting time doing math. I did all the stuff during work that I was writing all my notes. But you know, the cost of living in California is not cheap. My cousin used to live down there. She'll tell you it too. So that's that. But also, it's very rare that jobs these days, especially these days, might pop up for that type of work. You know, for voice acting and all that. Because of the pandemic. We live in a pandemic world. We live in what my friend Scott calls the latte apocalypse, and he's not wrong. He's not. But the fact that $9 million and people are going to get heated over that. Why? Because here's my thing. In my own honest opinion, not a single person, celebrity-wise, because yes, I will even call each of these voice actors who are in Critical Role celebrity, because they have reached that status, but not a single other celebrity, in my honest opinion, can pull off what Geek and Sundry on YouTube did to help Matthew Mercer by getting Critical Role out there. Matthew Mercer is the main character for Critical Role. Matthew Mercer is the DM. There's a difference between good DMs and great DMs. Okay? People, guys, again, in the comments, tell me if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm right. Tell me if I miss anything. Good DMs need to at least be able to be somewhat literate, because you have 750 pages of content to read in the first 3 books alone: the PHB, the DMG, and the MM. 2, you also have to be able to have a huge bank for creativity and bang for imagination, because you're going to need them both. If you're playing worlds that you create, much like Matthew Mercer did, you need to have those worlds ready to go. You need to make them up. You need to make sure you tell a story when it comes to playing and enjoying the hobby. Notice that I didn't call it a game there. I'm going to very rarely probably call it a game, because I think it's much more. Just like my friend Scott thinks it's much more, I'm on board with him. I know that it is much more than a game. Then we talk about great DMs. Good DMs, you need to have good literacy. You got to make sure you read and understand the books. Have your world ready to go, and have your players ready and staying engaged the entire time. When it comes to being a great DM, not only do you need the first 3, you need a whole lot more. You need ways that you can instantly change things on a fly, on the whim. You need backup ideas. You need a whole lot more. Your imagination and your creativity needs to be 1,000 times bigger than a good DM. To be a true masterful DM, your imagination, in my personal opinion, needs to be about 1,000 times bigger than a good DM. If it's 10 or 100, you're going into great DM status. But Matthew Mercer is the DM. He created a world, which is a setting book. Guys, Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. That's a Critical Role book. It's one of 2 books that has a secondary alliteration. The other one is a horrible book. No offense to PAX or Penny Arcade, but the other book, which isn't even good, personally, is Acquisitions Incorporated, which is a Penny Arcade book. But Explorer's Guide to Wildemount, guys, that is a Critical Role book, and it comes near Vox Machina. And who created Vox Machina? Whose world was that? Whose idea was that? One person, Matthew Mercer. He matters. Critical Role matters. Because one of their areas is now canon. And you're being upset because of a $9 million gain that they had on Twitch? As fans of videos that are on Twitch, you know, you have to understand, this is becoming close to a secondary lifestyle for one, if not everybody, on the Critical Role team. But for those of us who love Dungeons and Dragons beyond a shadow of reason, I respect Matthew Mercer and what he does on Twitch. The Vox Machina campaign, the one with Netherdeep, which he's going into. It's amazing, guys. It really is. We're getting Netherdeep. And the best part about getting Netherdeep is we get to play it with the book that we know so much, which is, of course, Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. Everything else, because $9 million to them is chump change. They're able to live in one of the most expensive places. Not to mention, they also do streams where they donate money. They donate whatever happens during the Twitch stream sometimes to a charity. I think it's 817 LA. I could be wrong. You know, I forget the name of the charity, but I know that they've done it before. They've done it massive times, you know? So for those of you out there who is a fan of Twitch, and you're kind of outraged because you're seeing these people finally make some of this cash, and you notice them from YouTube or other sources, you shouldn't be so hard. Because understand, this is part of a way of life. The pandemic hit everybody hard. When the pandemic started, I was out. I was out for 4 months, guys, because I had a fact that I was obese or extremely obese, in part, to where I couldn't go into work. Luckily, I got paid. Not going to explain it. there are other people who didn't get paid. And with the pandemic, it just gets harder. It's much, much harder. So I, to be honest, don't blame Critical Role. They got the $9 million bucks. They got money to use, not only to help them, but to help other people. And I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do. They come to conventions. They also do things at conventions. I hope, and I don't know if Matt Mercer or anyone else from Critical Role is going to listen to this, but I sure hope they do. Because if they come to PAX one year, I'm all over it. Vox Machina t-shirt in hand. Or on body. There you go. But it's not easy to take what people make as you know, whatever it is. But I support it, guys. If you keep watching Twitch and keep subscribed to the channels that you watch, like if one of them is Critical Role, then you shouldn't have a problem with them making the money. Which also just reminds me, I gotta make sure I resubscribe to them and SRG Universe. Yeah, my life. Okay. I'm done here. I'm done with this rant. I tried to get my point across. Hopefully I did. Any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Also, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and of course, hit that bell for notifications for when I drop new videos. It's been so long. So much more fun to do this again. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.